for the KDE community. This time I'm recording a YouTube live streaming. So let's see what I usually do. This is my wiki page that's not part of the KDE community. It's information that's primarily related to me or not about KDE. This is where I have my user under the KDE community, community.k.org, the KDE wiki. In here, I have the instructions for the things that I most often do. So how I work is that I program just for a couple of hours per week. So that would be 2 hours per week. And during 2 hours per week, you cannot do issues that take tens of hours to create a merge request and get a merge request approved. So this limits me to doing really short and simple git commits, one git commit and one merge request. I cannot actually, fix issues which require hours of investigation and maybe also decisions to be taken. For this, I have this wiki page which says what I actually do, which is do extremely small code changes, a couple of code changes, or maybe just one code change, a git commit, and then just one from that git commit, I do a merge request. Again, if the merge request is really small, not controversial, does not need to be discussed, it will be easier for people to approve it, to merge it. So what can I do within less than 2 hours? By doing these types of really simple changes, some of which are found by static analysis tools or by grammar proofreaders, etc. I can do between 2 and 4 merge requests per 2 hours. Let's see this one, for instance, proofreading a KDE app handbook. So I will pick a random application in here that has a manual page. Let's see color paint, for instance. Help, color paint handbook. So the handbooks are actually the product manual. I'm going to the PDF version, copy everything. And I can paste it in a Google Doc. Ctrl-Shift-V. And then Google Docs has this button where it spell checks. Spelling and grammar check. So let's see. It will find many words which are nouns. Screenshotting to screenshotting. So it says that I should change screenshotting with 1T with screenshotting with 2Ts. Okay, let's try that. Screenshotting. Is this a verb or what is it? Yeah, so the correct word is screenshotting with 2Ts, but it's not such a well-known word. Let's see the number of Google results. I'm not sure why it doesn't say the count of Google results. Okay, so let's do this. What about the next one? When you are ready to take a screenshot, just click OK. Okay. And what else? It doesn't really know where new lines appear because, again, I copy pasted from a PDF file, and PDF files are made for accurate printing, not for copying text from. Let's see what else. The right mouse button. Spray can. Representing. Accept. When the user interacts with it. Auto crop. This emphasizes the edges and gives the image or selection an engraved look. Looks okay. Menu bar is okay. Changing the color depth. Keep aspect ratio. If you select keep aspect ratio, this is probably text from a menu, but it is honest documentation. Carl Tucker. Okay, so that would be it. Just two text changes, a git commit, and a merge request. Let's see if we can make this YouTube live recording more well known. Where do I find it? How do I copy the URL of this thing? Okay. Let's tell Reddit. don't want this thing to be a link. I want it to be a text. Can't we expand this URL? Okay, so we have some changes, but probably the color paint handbook wasn't generated in a while. How do we find out that? I'm not sure what stable 5 means. So let's try to build this application. Hopefully it supports Qt 6. KDE Builder is the framework that allows me to build KDE Git repositories and all of the dependencies. So any other KDE Git repository that is needed by color paint in our case. The spelling is interesting for color paint. So OK, and then English United Kingdom, OU thing. Okay, let's look at the source code. Where is it? Let's see if it has been ported to Qt 6. I guess it has. So it says it requires Qt 6.6. So yes, it totally does not support Qt 5, which is great. Okay, so we're building the KDE Git repositories that this Git repository depends on. So event.git.org/graphics/colorpaint depends on these many KDE Git repositories, which are KDE frameworks, so key archive, key color scheme, key codecs, breeze icons, key GUI add-ons, etc. So we have 20 more Git repositories to compile. I should mark breeze icons to be ignored. So let's actually do that. Kate. So I'm ignoring these two projects because when I run KDE Builder, I expect that KDE Git repositories get built, not rebuilt. So I expect, because maybe there were a minimum number of changes inside of the Git repository, maybe 0 changes since the last time I built these modules, I would want the modules to be built extremely fast. But in the case of breeze icons, for instance, it takes a while, I don't know, takes minutes to build incrementally the Git repository breeze icons, and GPGME had the same thing. So right now I see it's only 25 seconds. But in my experience, this thing used to take, I don't know, 3 minutes doing an incremental build, not a complete rebuild. And if I build GPGME just once, it's more than enough. It's installed into tilde/kd/usr directory. it will be found in there by any other KDE builder invocations. So if I build it once, after I set up and I install KDE builder from scratch, if I build this module once is enough. This thing I should probably build every week. Okay, so it's doing Git operations, this part fetching and merging, and then CMake things, and then compiling, and then installing. Okay, 6 more KDE Git repositories to be built incrementally. Okay, let's look at the, what's this? This is a feature that I totally do not like in KDE Plasma. The fact that you can resize the quarters of window snapping or arrow snap, or what's the name of this feature? Okay, so let's see. Another thing which I'm not sure existed in KDE src-build is the fact that now KDE builder respects my work branches, which means that a ton of Git repositories will use old Git branches instead of using Git master. I should investigate and see how I can convince KDE builder either to do what KDE src-build did previously, which is use the remote origin master branch, and not use the local current branch, Git branch. I should also probably update KDE builder. Hey, hey. Hello to you. Kazma. Okay, just one library to go. libcase, and this is for the acquisition of images from a 3-in-1 and scanner. Okay, now it did the operations for color paint, the application that we're interested in. Let's see. The git clone is in here, tilde/kd/src/color paint. When I just replace text, I probably use Visual Studio Code. So let's see what replace I should do. I don't want you to install any Docker things. Let's find this one. Like this. So let's read. Using the opened dialog, you can change screenshot delay, which is a text displayed somewhere in the graphical user interface, in seconds, and choose to hide main window during screenshotting. When you are ready to take a screenshot, just click the graphical user interface button. OK. Makes sense to put an A in here. When you are ready to take a screenshot, just click. Okay. We could use a built-in terminal in here. In Visual Studio Code, let's do Git operations. No need to fetch from origin because KDE builder already did so. Let's see that we're on the git local master branch, git remote origin master branch. Yes, we are. Just one file changed. Reading. Text about screenshots. So where doc/index.docbook what proofreading text about screenshots. Yeah, makes sense. So this is an extra T. This is an extra A and a space. I'm not sure why this in here there's an extra space. Should not exist. So let's fix that also. Trailing white space. The rest of the lines do not seem to have a trailing white space. This one doesn't have, this one doesn't. Only this one has. Hopefully nothing wrong happens. When you are ready to take a screenshot, just click okay, save, rescan. Okay. This is the space that we have deleted at the end of the line. And commit. I need to create another Git branch. So let's see what's the name of the thing. Work me. Proofreading screenshot. Create. Check out this branch. And now this branch is bold, the current local branch. Rescan, remote, push, go. Okay, so now my git commit exists on the official Git repository of Color Paint, which is this one. And I want to create a merge request from this branch, which is in this Git repository, towards this branch, which is in this Git repository. Index.docbook proofreading text about screenshots. Changes. In GitLab, I can see the Git differences even easier. So this thing was deleted, 2 characters added, and another character added. Create merge request. And that's it. Somebody should approve it, hopefully. And if not, I will approve it myself. But I should wait at least 7 days. Between 4 and 7 days, I should wait. But I usually wait way more than this. Okay, and that's about it. So I did a git commit towards Color Paint about text proofreading. The tool that I used for proofreading is Google Docs tools, spelling and grammar check. We're done with this application. I middle click on tabs to close them by clicking on the scroll wheel on my mouse. Okay, and that would be this chapter here, proofreading a KDE app handbook. Okay, let's see if we can find other types of issues. Let's do a reuse this one. Let's do a reuse on the same Git repository. So that Git repository was color paint. I could do Git operations in here. No need to fetch, but I just fetch just in case. And it's really important that Git commits are independent and they all start from the remote origin master branch. So for that, I switch back to the local master branch. Then I switch to the remote origin master branch. Okay, I have just lost the fix that I did, but that's okay because again, I want Git commits to be totally independent, and then with one Git commit I can do one merge request. This way the different merge requests will be totally independent, so it doesn't really matter the order in which the merge requests are accepted. Okay, so let's see this thing. I need a temporary directory, and then I need to run these commands. How do I do that? Let's get me a okay, I got a temporary directory. Before actually creating the merge request, a good practice would have been to build the color paint Git repository again, but this time from that local Git branch that I created that has my Git commit on top of the remote origin master branch. The command line would have been like this. So KDE builder, color paint, and no src, which means no Git operations, so it should not change from my local Git branch. No include pan done sees, which means it should not build the other KDE Git repositories, just color paint, and do a in-depth rebuild, not an incremental build. Let's refresh build, and then for extra verbose output where I can see all of the C++ translation units being compiled, so minus debug. But for that, I need to be on the local Git master branch, this guy. This way I make sure that the merge request doesn't regress. For instance, if I do a merge request, that merge request doesn't make the source code not build, for instance. And then there's also the possibility of running the tests, the C test, so-called unit tests of color paint. CMake tests. Okay, so we're trying to do a second Git commit for the color paint Git repository. And we're trying this chapter, the reuse one. Okay, so says change to temporary directory. I did that. I've installed Astral UV, which is a Rust executable, self-contained. This allows me to install Python, so it's a Python version manager. I do not want to do that. And it also allows me to install PIP modules either per user or in a VNV or I don't know, per system or something, which again, I do not want to write to /usr. So let's see what this thing does. I don't see a VNV being created. Okay, so maybe the instructions in here are incomplete. How do we create a VNV? Okay, so I have a temporary directory. That was the reason for the temporary directory, such that I can create a VNV in there, a Python virtual environment, which I did. And now I should enter the VNV. This is the command line. And now I can install a PIP package, which is called reuse. Okay, so let's actually add it. So change to the temporary directory. And then we want to create a VNV. Then we want to enter the VNV. And then I'm running UV PIP install. And this thing is now KDE Builder. And I should change into that directory, right? Probably. Okay, so this is a linter for text file, so I guess the build is not really necessary. It's running KDE builder and then the name of a random KDE Git repository, just such that it Git fetches the repository to the tilde/KDE/src and then the name of the module. If not, we can always just build. So I want no included dependencies. No refresh build because I want an incremental build. I do not want debug. I do not want. I want source code operations. Okay. So compiling was really fast because no C++ translation units have been changed. Just the docbook file has been changed. And I'm not sure if the docbooks are used when I do KDE builder space color paint. I'm not sure that the HTML version of the color paint product manual, so the KDE, the color paint handbook is generated or not. Certainly not the PDF version. The PDF version is certainly not generated. Okay, and now we should change into this directory. Let's replace this thing with tilde. So change into the directory where color paint git repository was git cloned. And then this thing. Okay. So we ran the command line reuse lint, which is a sort of static analyzer, a linter, which went through the files in this directory and subdirectories, found the files which are about licenses, which have a licensing header or not, the reuse specific files, and created a report. The report was written to standard output, but then the standard output was redirected to this file. Let's open it in a text editor. So says that a license needs to be added to the list of licenses which are used by this KDE Git repository. So that's already a Git commit. And then files which do not have copyright and license information. All of these PNGs, wow. I'm not sure why the PNGs are translated. I'm not sure if that's a good idea. So a PNG is translated into Dutch. And many are translated into Polish. I don't know, translating PNG files doesn't scale, should not be done. Okay, and then there are some files which have one of the two, which have copyright but do not have licensing information. This is the summary. One missing license. All of the licenses are used. Many files without copyright. 3 files without license information. Which are these 3 files? Files with license, only 3 files with license information. Okay, so maybe people did not do the tasks related to reuse on the Git repository color paint that people did on more often used and maintained, for instance, KDE Frameworks version 6. A ton of C++ files without enough information. Okay, so let's try to do this suggestion, which is to add to the licenses directory the license cc0 version 1.0. Okay, let's see what the command line is. Reuse download -- all, which is this command. Okay. If we know the exact copyright owner and license, reuse knows how to, so this executable reuse, which I've installed via Python pip packages, knows how to add the comment into a C++ source code file. And you can also provide a long list of CPP files if, I know, 100 CPP files have the exact same copyright and the exact same license. But this requires, I don't know, at least 20 minutes of inspection and figuring out which files to add and what to add. And then you should probably also ask around in on metrics, or maybe on a mailing list, or on the official communication channel of this KDE application, Color Paint. And also ask the maintainer of the Git repository, probably via a direct email, and say, I want to change for the following 100 CPP files the licensing to be like this. What do you think? Is my change correct or not? And it's probably incomplete because who knows who wrote the bulk of the C++ source code? Maybe 3 different people, in various years. Maybe there have been 3 different maintainers at different points in time, because the application Color Paint is more than 25 years old. Okay, so let's see what we did. So a directory was created if it did not exist previously, which is called licenses. Let's see if this directory actually exists. So it did not exist before. Now it exists. Whoa. Intense massaging needs to be done on this Git repository Color Paint in order to make it reuse compliant. But this will be a merge request that gets the discussion started. Certainly. Doesn't hurt anyone. So let's actually do it. So a directory was created, which is called licenses, this one all uppercase. And then a file was created in there, which is cc0 -1.0, which is the name of the license, the identifier of the license inside the reuse framework and project. This is the text from from reuse. And let's see. Reuse. reuse support. All uppercase, what was the spelling? Let's find out. Reuse, all uppercase. Was created by like this. So a file has been added not by me, but by this command line. And it's required by, let's also write this thing. Okay. Okay, who downloaded the file listing? Reuse download all. Who says or why do we think that this file is actually needed? Because it's referenced by 3 different files which already exist in the Git repository: GitLab CI YML, Git KDE -UI YML, and Snapcraft YAML. Okay, sounds okay. Let's create a branch. A name for the branch, reuse cc0. We scan and push. Okay, it finished git pushing. There's probably some hooks in there. That's why the push takes some time. We can confirm that the text in the wiki chapter is now correct. So let's see changes. And save. Okay. Again, we've pushed a git commit towards the color paint Git repository, but we did not create a merge request, which we need to do. We need to put a ton of spaces. This thing is a code. Let's preview. This thing is also code. This thing is also code. Okay, the file was created by the command line. This thing says this tank use. Okay. And let's see what happens. A new directory was created, a new file was added. Let's see if I have merge requests in here. Nope, just two. So I don't have merge requests that I created 3 months ago or something, a long time ago. Okay, so at this point we're two merge requests in within, what was that, 50 minutes. Let's do some more. Let's see what else we can do. So we could fix G++ compiler warnings. We could fix C-lang, C++ compiler warnings. I'm not sure if the warnings of type, what was the thing? Let's see. Another Git repository, a random one. libksane, this thing. libksane, what is it? So it's probably not a KDE framework version 6, but a KDE library. Q widgets and scanners. Where is that stored in here? Okay, let's build this Git repository and see if we have the warnings which existed in the last 2 weeks, which just flood everything, the output. So we need this command line, but with libksane. No src, no include dependencies, refresh build, debug, go. "23 translation units, a ton of warnings. Of type deprecated, and these are the benign but still this type of compiler warnings are just everywhere and make it really hard to see the real compiler warnings. Let's try to see this thing. Let's try to fix one of the G++ compiler warnings which have nothing to do with Fortify source, fhard, and let's see how we do that. So it says that we should build with the G++, which we did. We should capture the build output. Should capture the build output. Yeah, let's do that. Refresh build is definitely needed because you want a rebuild, not an incremental build. An incremental build will build just on translation units, so you will not be able to see hundreds of build warnings, possibly. You will just see the build warnings from the only file that was edited in the last week or something. So this command line is totally not okay. This one is not okay. Okay. I'm not sure exactly how to specify this thing. What is this spread things? Okay, so we want to run KDE builder with the name of the Git repository and build even its dependencies. Like this. So this will, where are you? This will build kcalc and all of its dependencies, do git source code operations, not be verbose, and will be of type incremental build. Okay. If kcalc wasn't built before, it will do a full build. If it was not built. That's the first time, just to make sure that we have all of the dependencies. And then the second time, we want debug. Yes, we want full output, but we totally want refresh build. And we totally want no include dependencies. And also no SRC. Wow. Okay. And then after we added the source code, we want no SRC, no include dependencies, debug, and maybe not refresh build because we want a fast incremental build, but then while we do the merge request, we should do what we do always do for merge requests, which is KDE builder kcalc, no SRC, no include dependencies, refresh build debug, just to make a full compilation of the current KDE Git repository, not of any of its dependencies, just to make sure that we're not creating a really stupid and wrong KDE merge request. Okay. So we did this step where we have built using KDE Builder. Now we need the following step, which is no SRC, no include dependencies, refresh build debug, and then this thing. Okay, so this will put what we had previously in the terminal, we'll put it into this file. So Ctrl-Shift-V, this one, this one. It's important that I run my procedures from time to time because otherwise they will get bit rot like this. They don't really work. Okay, what does it say? Search for the string warning should appear tens of thousands of times. Yeah, it does if you're building kcalc and all of its dependencies. search for the string warning, pick a build warning. That seems simple enough to you. Let's see this one. Okay, so we need to ignore all of the 45 source things. How do we do that? We replace these things with nothing. F3, Control F. Okay. We don't have C++ for code highlighting. Says there's a type method which is deprecated. We should use type ID or meta type. Okay, I have encountered this thing previously, so I should know how to fix this one, but I don't. What else? Type is deprecated. Use Q meta type instead. Meta type int. Q type. I have no clue what this thing is about. The same thing as the first one with type ID. Use position instead of X. Maybe this thing is actionable by me. Who knows? I'm not that great at fixing C++ compiler errors and cute deprecation warnings because that requires investing at least half an hour in order to study the type of build warning. But once you have identified, you have researched, you have read everything there is about this warning and decide what's the fix, you see that the fix actually doesn't introduce any regression, any bug. The source code compiles correctly. People from the KDE community accept your Git merge requests. You can apply the same fix in hundreds of KDE Git repositories. I'm sure that this one, the type ID, meta type, Q variant type method, which is deprecated, this build warning appears at least 1,000 times in all of the KDE Git repositories. So that's material for doing hundreds of Git commits and Git merge requests. Okay, let's see this thing. Maybe it's actionable by me. How do I do it? I'll probably use a integrated development environment. I'll open the project, and the project is libksane, which is this one. And we need the cache file. Control V, open. We need Qt 6.9.0. We need debug, configure project, and let's find the error. Let's see if I can save the wiki page. So compile once with all dependencies, compile a second time, but do refresh, not incremental build. Don't build any of the dependencies. Write the thing to a text file, open the text file, search for warning, pick a build warning, test, delete the build directory, rebuild completely with Yeah, so deleting tilde/kd/build/kcalc directory is similar to --refresh build. It's a bit more in depth than --refresh build. Look at the output, see if there are any errors in that exact same area. So you need to see that both the compilation and installation work correctly, but you also want to see that the build warning has disappeared. You actually want to run this command line again and compare the output. Okay, make sure there are no build errors and that the build warning was fixed. This is how you run the CMake tests. This is GNU Make. We don't use GNU Make anymore. Now we use Ninja. So this command line, I'm not sure how it is, probably Ninja test. Okay, so these are the important clarifications that we want extremely small git commits, and one merge request should contain just one git commit in order for everybody for the merge request to be easy to create, for the merge request to be easy to review and merge. Let's make it easy on everybody. Okay, show changes. Something like this. Okay, let's go back to where we were, which is we have a file build output g++.txt. In here we have a C++ build warning, which we try to fix, is of type deprecation from the Qt framework. Let's see if Qt Creator finds this exact same error. So that would be rebuilding. Build, rebuild. Compile output. Go. How do we find what we're searching for? This thing. The first place where qmouse if where x, the method x appears. In here it's at C++ translation unit Ninja file to build 18 out of 23. Whereas when compiled with Qt Creator, the first time that I see it is on file to build translation unit 19, not 18 out of 23. Maybe the build order will be different because of threading and other issues. Yeah, Ninja tries to build as many translation units in parallel as possible at the same time. and will use all of my CPU threads, and I have 16 of them. Okay, so ksane viewer.cpp 55932. In here it says X is deprecated. Use position instead. Let's see where that thing is, the doc string with the deprecation of this method was written. In line X, just returns qround of position dot X. Wow. And position uses floats. Q.f. You know, maybe this is support for non-integer pixel coordinates, or maybe fractional scaling or something. Q.f. So it suggests that we replace 3 characters with 20 characters. Should we do that or not? M left less X, which is of type integer. So QMouse event should have a, how do we see? If not defined, queued no integer event coordinates. If not defined, queued no integer event coordinates. And deprecated since queued 6. So we could try either these, or this other possibility. You go pause first, and that's U point, which is a pair of integers, and then that has a X. Something like this. Let's see if pause is already used. Wow. Q point plus something. Delta. Which is a Q point F. Okay, what about position? dot x. Let's see if GitHub has such a thing, or if our git clone has such a thing. So under /KDE/src, I have 200 KDE Git repositories git cloned. I can open this thing with Visual Studio Code and search for what I want. I need to decide between these two. Let's see what people did previously. Let's see if this thing exists. No. Wow. So E is the same thing, some event variable. But still the number of search matches is really, really small. But that's what we have. So a event implementation, there's a parameter event of some event queued type, and then that thing has floating point coordinates, and there's this method which still works, which is pos, which converts the queue point f to queue point. Okay, so let's do that. Back to the compiler output. Translation unit file 19. Casing viewer.cpp 55932. And we have how many occurrences in here? We have an X, a Y, and then another X and another Y, and then another X and another Y. So I see 6 appearances. Let's apply the fix. So we want this one. Pos dot, and there's an X in there. Okay, so we want to replace where there's warnings inside of this file and insert this string in here. Like this. Okay, let's see all of the appearances. So 1, 2, 3, Okay, we want the error, the build warning. The build warning starts in here, and it's for line 55932 until 560. This part. We will use this thing for the git commit. Okay. Okay, so let's see what's up. How many places do we still have to fix this issue? So this thing, this, that, one, and two. Okay, and that's another issue, probably identical. So this is casting global position. So we should just replace screen pause with global position, but I'm not going to do that because then there will be two very different things into the same git commit, and it's just more chances that the git commit will not be merged. And that's it. We're at the next translation unit, which is 20 out of 23. So that's it. Save. Let's look at the git commit. Let's see if the terminal in here works. Okay, so pause, and pause. 6 appearances. All of these are about E, and which is of type pointer to QMouse event. Same thing here. I should invest more time to actually make sure that this thing is extra correct. Okay. Fix. Let's see the text of the warning. Fix. Compiler warning. And then this entire thing. And I need to replace all of these things with a tilde. I'm not sure exactly if I need to include everything because then it will be part of the Git history. And the Git history is not interested if I have Qt version 6.9 or other version installed, if I have it installed via the Qt online installer or some other way. But at least it doesn't contain my name, so that's great. Okay, another useless fetch. New branch. What are we doing here? QMouse event X, this thing. Rescan. Looks okay. Push. And merge request. This thing. Refresh. Create merge request. This thing needs to be marked as code. And the formatting looks okay. Where, what, and the changes, I just put pause, round parentheses, and dot. And I don't create the merge request before actually building. Let's build first. How do we do that? So libcase say no src, no include dependencies, refresh, build, debug, and then it's going to write to this existing file which is opened in here in this text editor. And then we're going to search for this part, which we have it saved in here. Okay, seems okay. It's going to take a while to build. And done. Okay, this file needs to be refreshed. Discard. And we see translation unit 18, the warning that we should replace screen pause method with global position method. But we don't see the previous warnings, the 6 previous warnings. And then it advances to translation unit 19 for the file ksaneviewer.cpp. So at least the build warning was fixed, but then did we not introduce a bug there? I guess not, but who knows? We have reviewers for the merge request. If something's really, really wrong, maybe somebody will catch the error before actually merging this merge request. Okay. So 3 merge requests, 1 hour 30 more minutes to go. Let's see what else we can do. We're not going to do a clang ++1. It's the exact same thing. We just replace this part with this part. clang tidy static analysis issue. I'm curious if this thing actually works. Let's see. Libcase sane. And probably if I have installed this tool and this tool, then this integration will work. Should probably build. This is a smallish KDE Git repository, only 22 source code files. Okay, main menu, analyze, clength, tidy, and clazy. Whoa, what is this? So it says that cannot analyze anything. And who wrote these things here? Either clang tidy or the compiler, or maybe clang++. Finished with exit code 1. Process error 5. Okay, maybe it's because of this thing. So the benign error, the benign build warning, which seem to not be causing any problems, the f-hardened thing, maybe is not a valid clang++ command line parameter or something, and then clang tidy fails because of f-hardened. And I do not know how to remove this thing, but it's important that now we know that f-hardened creates problems. Okay, I'll ask in metrics if what happens is supposed to happen. Okay, let's see if the solder tool survives clazy. This guy. Yeah, this also doesn't like f-hardened. Let's see what it found. So Qt deprecated. Should replace line 178 queue list of ksane widget device info with queue list ksane interface ksane widget device info. Oh, this looks like a perfectly good git commit. It seems pedantic, but maybe that's the way it's done. qsconst is deprecating another C++ Qt framework deprecation, so this is also an easy git commit. You just replace q as const with std as underscore const. This fix has been done in 1,000 times on other KDE Git repositories, and maybe this library did not get these fixes yet. Let's try for this git commit. So let's see the order of operations. So I built and did a merge request, which means that I'm on the wrong branch. How do I get to the correct branch? Repository visualize all branch. master branch should point to the same git commit as the remote origin master branch. Okay. Another run of the tool, analyze and see lazy. Okay, where was it? This thing. So it says that I should just replace this with this. How do I copy? This thing. Let's see if it's true what it says. So there's a struct device info. That's where? Inside the class KSane widget. Okay. And KSane widget is inside the namespace KSane interface. iFace. Okay. Okay. If that's the way it's done, then let's do it. Okay, save. Git commit. And the warning was, what do I get the warning? KSane widget 178.33. This guy. We'll need it for the git commit. The output is from C lazy. Fix C lazy warning. Kind of long. Fix C lazy warning. And this thing. Let's do the replace. Okay, so the change is just pedantic, but no, there's a warning which was fixed by a static analysis tool named CLazy, which says that this is an enum, this is a class, but you should use the full path to the enum, which also contains the namespace, C++ namespace, which we did. the lines in the git commit message. So this is the git commit message. This is the git commit message title. Should be under, I don't know, 60 characters. This is the git commit message body, and this should be less than 80 lines. The lines should be less than 80 characters long. So that's why I made the line a bit shorter by putting a new line in here. Seems okay. Let's make sure that we start from the remote master branch, which we do. Just one git commit, correct. Let's create a branch. The name. Okay, sane widget. Okay, and push. Close. Libcase sane. I did push, create a merge request. This should be code. Looks okay. Where, what? Changes just this thing. Correct. Let's compile. Back to where we were. And we're going to build from scratch, libcase sane, no dependencies, no source code changes, and as verbose as possible. This, I'm not sure if it was a build warning before, so it's not that useful to look at the what we see in the in bash in here in the standard output of building, but it's important that it builds correctly, so we can see that building is finished successfully, no errors, and then it also installed correctly. So at least this thing compiles correctly. And we're at 4 extremely small Git commits and GitLab merge requests, and we're at 15 minutes before 2 hours, so 1 hour and 45 minutes. So this is the type of contributions to the KDE community that I do each and every week. And because I am only working for 2 hours per week, then I can keep this tempo of working each and every week. And this is the 2.5 years. So I started on April 2022. And now it's December 2024, so more than 2.5 years. So this is it. Thank you very much.